Hey guys, it's Ch.1. Welcome back to another MLP reading. This time, I think it's mostly fanfic until we get to the ClopFic, like the same thing. Basically, there's always a setup, then there's other emotional garbage that we have to go through. You know how it be with the fanfics out here. Okay, I am not gonna say the title of this chapter because I have no clue. It's like Avia Musicom. Like I said, I'm not gonna try, but I tried anyway. So this is a Roseluck fic. I don't know too much about Roseluck, and other than that, she's one of the flower girls, so that's gonna be. This is a whole new ass character for me, so we'll find out. Actually, I've seen fics about her sister Lily more than Roseluck, but I guess we'll find out together, you and me, because side characters that are not revolved around the main six are really interesting when certain authors and individuals take them under their wing and be like, all right, I want her to be like this and like that, and boom, boom, magic happens. All right, a human X pony story, by the way. Anyways, let's hop right into it. Saturday afternoon in Ponyville, the small town was bustling with activity. Little fillies and colts were out playing in the streets. Some ponies were out running their weekly errands, and others simply happy to be out and about on such a beautiful day with their friends. Then there were the shop owners. The streets were practically packed with vendors selling a wide variety of items. From the smallest of fruits to the largest of plants, you could find close to anything. Of course, a day like this was perfect for the town's local flower ponies. They had picked up somewhat of a reputation around town as being overdramatic, but one thing was certain: no pony could cultivate a garden quite like they could. And on a day like this, that meant that their business was better than ever. A multitude of colts and stallions alike had already visited their stands, some for their significant other, and some in the hope that the flowers would earn them a significant other. Boy, we're really making in the bits today, girls. Roseluck and Daisy giggled at their younger sister's exclamation. She was something of a joker among the trio, and had a reputation among town as being able to make just about any pony smile. Roseluck smirked at her. Oh, Lily, your puns are going to you into trouble one day, you know. Lily rolled her eyes and shifted her attention back towards the streets as the young coach trotted his way to her stand. With an unwavering look of determination, he slammed a few bits down in front of her. Hi, Pipsqueak. How are you? Pipsqueak, I'm great, Miss Valley. Ah, you're making me feel old calling me that, Lily laughed. You know you can call me Lily. Now, what can I get for you? Do you have any black lilies, Lily? He asked. The youngest of the flower sisters smiled and ducked down behind her stall for a moment. When she popped back up, she had just what he had asked for. Oh, it's even prettier than I thought it would be. Wait, there's black lilies? I did not know this. What? That's just interesting. Lily giggled, sliding the bits he'd offered towards herself. And just who's the lucky lady that would be getting this flower? I don't really want to say, he blushed. Oh, come on, we won't tell any Pommy, promise. Daisy called out from a few stalls away. I feel like it's gonna be Luna, no? Rosa covered her mouth with her hoof. Wait, what? I don't really want to say, he blushed. Oh, come on, we won't tell any Pommy, promise, Daisy called out from a few stalls away. Wait, are they just yelling at each other at different stalls? Is that what's happening here? Roseluck covered her mouth with her hoof and laughed nervously as she regarded the little pony. Don't listen to her, Pipsqueak. You don't have to tell us if you're not comfortable. Well, I guess those are pretty good at keeping secrets. I guess you three are pretty good at keeping secrets. I got it for Scootaloo. Oh, that's unexpected. For me, I thought it was gonna be for Luna at least. At least like a good gesture, because he loves Luna. He spoke softly, embarrassed. Well, I'm sure she'll love it. Excuse me, she's a tomboy. I don't think she likes flowers. Whatever. Lily smiled at him, ruffling his mane with her hoof. Now run along and tell your mom I said she's lucky to have raised such an upstanding young colt. Pipsy gave a little salute, turned heel, and galloped off. Roseluck tilted her head towards Lily once he was out of sight. I didn't know you had any black lilies. I decided to try and grow some new species for this month. Lily smiled. What about you two? Got any flowers up for sale? Oh, that was explaining why they were black, actually. Nah, okay. Okay, I'm trying to justify it. Maybe they're black because of Scootaloo. Anyways, okay, she decided to grow some new ones. What about you two? Got any new flowers up for sale? Nope, same old, same old. Oh, well, I'm sure you guys will come up with something too. Roseluck zoned out. Roseluck zoned out as her younger sister spoke, focusing her attention instead across the town square. Ponies basically swarmed around Applejack, were trying to buy some of her red, delicious apples. Her eyes settled on the creature that had come to call Ponyville home for the past few months. What had Princess Twilight called him? A human? I love it. I love how they always try to say it stupidly. Whatever he was, he didn't look nearly as lively as he had the last time she'd seen him. As he examined the apple in his hands, she could see that Applejack was trying to offer him some words of comfort. Why, though, was a mystery to her. Rosie? Roseluck shook her head and turned towards Daisy. What is it? You've been staring at Clyde for like 2 minutes. Roseluck's cheeks burned bright red. Oh, sorry, I was just a bit distracted is all. It's a real shame about him, Lily spoke sadly. Daisy nodded in agreement. What's wrong? You didn't tell her? Daisy frowned at Lily, who chuckled nervously. Princess Twilight wasn't able to find a way for him to get back home. So he's trapped here? Like forever? Rose asked, turning to look at him again. That was definitely a cruel fate, being ripped away from his home and family forever just like that. That's horrible. Yeah, he hasn't really been taking it well. In fact, just the other day, Roseluck zoned out again regarding the human with a sad look on her face. She watched as he slowly walked away from Applejack's stand on an apple in hand. She had never actually spoken to him, not even in a passing situation. She had admittedly been terrified of him for the longest time. It was only when he had helped rescue one of Fluttershy's animals from the Everfree Forest a few weeks ago that she had begun to see him in a different light. Oh yeah, new creature, you don't understand them. How dare you assume they're always predatory-ish. I'm just mad at the stereotype of these fics. But even then, she never really had any idea of how to approach that much larger bipedal creature. Still, she wanted to at least try something to lift his spirits. You go, girl. At least you're not too afraid of him. That's my reasoning. She never liked to see any pony sad, so she settled on grabbing a bouquet of flowers from underneath her flower stand. With the bouquet held tightly between her teeth, she quickly trotted off after him, ignoring her sisters who tried to get her attention. Bruh. All I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure you guys have at least there's some ponies who have actually, come up to minotaurs and other bipedal creatures, or other creatures that are bigger than them, like dragons. Like Fluttershy literally just stood up to a dragon one time, and that was just an interesting time. She was just pissed at that time, honestly. Alright. Clyde let out a sigh as he approached Applejack's apple stand. He still had a few bits left over after paying the rent on his home, and as he wanted something to snack on, he hadn't heard that she had just forgotten some red, delicious apples in stock and was intent on getting one. That had been his favorite fruit back on Earth, and somehow they were even better here. Alright, so we're watching what Roseluck was I'm reading what Roseluck was watching. Well, howdy, Clyde. Are you here to buy some apples? Clyde didn't reply. Instead of grabbing an apple from one of the many baskets she had on display and expecting it. I heard about what Twilight told you. Is there anything I can do? He shook his head, his wavy hair flopping from side to side as he did. It's fine, Applejack. Are you sure? Because, we're all planning a little trip down to the spa later today if you wanted to join us. Applejack offered him a smile. One that he had trouble returning. I'm sure, he replied, trying his hardest to smile graciously. So how much are your red delicious apples? Just a bit each, she answered, but you can have that one for free. Clyde finally managed to smile. Are you sure? I'm sure. It's the least I could do after hearing about your situation. Oh, that's so sad. She tipped her hat at him, and he thanked her before walking off. He wasn't intent on getting back home from the mail before the mailman got there. Last time she had beaten him, his mailbox had somehow broken in half, and he didn't feel like buying another one. It was a hot day, though, and he eventually resigned himself to finding a nearby empty bench to sit down on. He wiped a bit of sweat off his forehead and plopped down on the bench, crossing his left leg on top of his right. He looked at the apple Applejack had given him again. There were no bruises, and it was one of the shiniest apples he had ever seen. How her family was so good at farming then, he had no clue. He was about to take a bite of the apples when he heard a voice to his left. Hello? That's our girl Roseluck right there, dude. So this one, I've never know about like Roseluck's normal like personality from the show, but this one is just adorable. Like she doesn't want to see anything or anyone not smile, so she's just gonna go and try to make him smile. It's fucking great. It's like I want to say like that concept sort of applies to any entertaining YouTuber that's not informative. Just saying. All right, present time. Roseluck followed. Okay, no, back to Rose when she left. Roseluck followed Clyde for a few moments, coming to a stop as he took a seat on a bench. They had wandered quite a bit away from the town square, and she gulped as she thought of just how she could approach him. Okay, Roseluck, you can do this. Just walk over to him, say hi, and give him these flowers. Trotting over to him was no problem. He didn't seem to notice her yet. She wasn't sure why, but that made her feel a bit comfortable. Once she was within a few inches of him, she shook the bouquet out of her mouth and into her hoof and spoke, hello. Okay, pause for a moment again. Wouldn't he hear the clopping of hooves behind him if she was following him throughout town? Unless it was covered up with other ponies just walking behind him, around him. I don't know. Just something to keep in mind. He turned towards her, or he's probably depressed, actually. Never mind. He turned towards her, closing his mouth as he did, and lowering the hand holding his apple back down, high. Okay, Roseluck, just hoof him the flowers now. These are for you. Roseluck stammered out nervously. She looked away from him as she held the flowers out towards him. To her surprise, she felt the flowers leave her grasp as she managed to look back towards him. Thanks, I guess. Where do you get these from me, though? Oh, well, I heard about you being stuck here, and I thought that you might need some cheering up, she replied softly. Ah, he nodded. Well, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. The two remains quiet for a few moments, not quite sure what to say. Dang it, I knew this was a bad idea. We've never even met, and here I am giving him a bouquet. He probably thinks I'm the weirdest pony in town. Oh, the horror. Roseluck, right? He broke the silence and took her away from those thoughts. She nodded, and he smiled at her. Truth be told, Roseluck, I was kind of expecting Twilight to come up empty. Heck, I don't even know how I got here. I'm sure I'll be fine eventually. Oh, so you were expecting this. That was a bit of a relief. Maybe he wasn't as sad as everyone thought he was. He was smiling, which was a good sign. Still, it begged a question that she wasn't sure she wanted to ask. Don't you miss your family, though? She regretted saying that almost right away as she watched his features fall. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Gosh, stupid Roseluck. She scolded herself, smacking a hoof against her forehead. Hey, no worries. You don't need to, hit yourself. He finished staring at her with a bemused look. She paused for a moment, looking past her hoof at him. He set the flowers he'd been given down on his lap. Why do you care so much anyways? We've never even met before. I only know your name because of Twilight. Roseluck blushed, falling down to her haunches on the ground. She gave a little nervous cough, rubbing the back of her head. I'm not really sure. I guess I felt bad that no pony was even trying to talk to you, aside from Applejack. She was expecting Clyde to give her another strange look, but he surprised her by chuckling, a tiny smile meeting his face. What? You ponies are just too nice. He paused for a second, patting the empty spot next to him on the bench. Why don't you sit up here? I'm sure it's better than the ground. Roseluck was hesitant, but the look he was giving her said, You have nothing to fear from me. She smiled warmly and hopped down next to him, falling down onto her rump again. So what do you do for a living? That's a silly question to ask someone you just met, he laughed. But if you must know, I work at the Carousel Boutique. Roseluck's eyes lit up at the... No way, do you make clothes like Grady does? Oh no, I just take measurements for her, he blushed. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to know how to. Oh, Clyde, you just rose an interesting... character development. You just rose to an interesting character to me, Clyde. I thought you could be generic. Alright, Clyde. Roseluck paused for a moment, wanting to get a better look at Clyde. Roseluck paused for a moment, wanting to get a better look at Clyde, like her. His brown hair stopped just short of going over his eyes. His face was clean-shaven, and his blue eyes shined brightly in the sunlight. Almost made her wonder just why she'd been so terrified of him only months ago. Have you made any friends? Aside from Rarity and Applejack, not really, he shrugged. Princess Twilight is always too busy to chat, and that yellow one seems really scared of me. Yellow one, Roseluck repeated quietly. Oh, you mean Fluttershy? Yeah, she can be pretty timid, Roseluck giggled. Well, yeah, Fluttershy, needs to get used to you, after, a few years, dude. But that's it. I always forget it, because as soon as she sees me, she just flies away. The two shared a short laugh. Once it died down, he gave Roseluck a warm look. Thanks for talking with me, Roseluck. It's nothing. She shook her hoof limply at him, blushing. So, do you live around here? I actually live just down the street from here, he pointed with what she recalled being known as his thumb, and her eyes followed his directions. See that little house down there, right before the last one? The one with the little blue shutters on besides the windows? That's it, Clyde nodded. Actually, we rented it out a few weeks ago. I was living with Rady until then, but her sister is just so messy. She actually left a pair of her socks in the sink. Roseluck giggled. That sure sounds like Sweetie Belle. She's a little mischievous, but she's a sweet filly. Yeah, she's something else, alright, Clyde laughed with a sigh of what Roseluck assumed to be disappointment. He pointed back to his home. Well, I need to go ahead and get home. I'd like to talk to you some more tomorrow, though, if you'd like. He smiled. It's a bit unfair that we only talked about me. Roseluck found herself nodding eagerly, beaming as a bit as she replied, Okay, I'll be at my flower stand if you want to chat while I work. She watched as Clyde got up, bouquet in hand, and walked down the street towards his home. Okay, see you then. Whoa, I went a lot better than I thought it would. He's not scary at all, Roseluck exclaimed to herself. Then it hit her. Oh, pony feathers, I need to get back to my stand. My girl just left her work. With that, she got back towards the town square, eager to let her sister know that she had made a new friend. Author's note, I hope you guys like this intro. I agree. Like I said, Clyde, you got a tick on the interesting meter for me from wanting to do clothing, unlike some other people that just mooch off the generosity princess over there. Anyways, guys. Thank you guys for watching, listening, do what the heck you guys do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. I'm so broken here, yeah, I'm an outcast. No, I never fit in, but I outlast all these money pump fiends with the